wena drive.
Who said you have a right to remove people from dikoloi tse o sa di patalang? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Either you're a patroller or you're a driver. What right do you think you have to take away the right of someone who chooses something, chooses a different service from yours? And you decide that you have a right to decide for them. Not so long, some of you are going to tell us, ko ShopRite, re reke ko Pick and Pay.
Exactly.
Because that is going to be the biggest problem that this country is going to land us into. But for the sake of the viewers, I want us to watch this very important episode for us, a clip rather, or insert if you like, for us to start this episode.
Taxi driver, I have to take a taxi. I can't get a Bolt that I want to take with my money. I'm standing out here. I've been standing at the mall for over 2 hours with kids. I have a baby that's hungry. I'm a taxi driver. About me and my kids. Here they are. They're arguing with the Bolt driver right now. They're not thinking about me and my kids. They're thinking about themselves. I can't take a taxi. I can't take a Bolt. I'm forced to take a taxi. Where I lapong tuwa khona about driver me. This is the current situation that's happening at Krisani Mall, Fosloras. We are being forced into transport that we don't want with our monies. Can somebody come and do something here? I am not going to take a taxi. I don't want to take a taxi. I want to take a Bolt because I have a car. And when my car is not available, I'm a Bolt customer.
Look, how do you feel about that?
I'm angry. I'm bored. I'm getting frustrated even now as I watch it. Because it takes me back to that moment, you know?
Right.
Like, how do you... It's like being singled out.
Yeah.
It was actually that I got singled out simply because I complained that, no, I don't want to take a taxi, some beat-up taxi, where I'm going to be sitting uncomfortably with my kids when I can just pay for a Bolt, which gives me the space and air that I need for me and my kids.
Right.
And because I voiced that out, 2 guys thought they should teach me a lesson and follow me all the way out of the mall to extension 16 and make sure that I don't get the Bolt that I so want.
Hold that thought. Now, Mzansi, this was an intro into something very important. We have a visitor in the studio and her name is Moipone. And she's going to talk to us about her experience. But we're going to traverse this world, this universe of the behavior of patrollers. And we're going to juxtapose that. We're going to look at that behavior against the right to choose what we want or the kind of service we want. She is a mother who had children with her on the day. In the studio, we have that same baby that was hungry and needed to get home. But somebody, some father, decided that that child does not deserve to get milk at home. So we're going to look at this because I know that many of you, and we've seen through your comments, that many of you are experiencing this thing. And I think we're also getting a sense that you're also very frustrated about what this looks like all the time. But what we're trying to do today is to send a message to those that think they have the right. We're going to tell them today that they don't actually have that right. But we're going to start with Moipone's story, just for her to tell us what time she arrived at the mall, finished, and then she was going home, and what that whole package looks like. And I want you to be comfortable. Speak to me the way you feel comfortable about it, because then this is supposed to be an educational type of thing. But I also want to tell you this. With doing this with us, nobody has a right to come call you or do anything. Tim, you're going to have a problem. Not so long you will have the president would have taken your cables and your whole machines will be down. But that's the beauty of having a child in the studio. So Osmipon, tell me about, before you, I already know that just watching that video again makes you angry. But you went on a particular Saturday, you went to a mall like everybody else. And you did what you wanted to do, and you wanted to now go back home. What happened?
Okay. So it was actually a Friday,
Okay.
and I took my kids, and the other one doesn't actually even live with me, you know? The older one, she lives back home. So we went to the mall to get her a couple of things because that was the weekend that she was supposed to be leaving. It was the long weekend.
Okay.
And then we get to the mall. I do some grocery shopping. I get her some things. And then afterwards, I'm looking at, she actually reminds me that, Mom, we left the baby's milk. We forgot to take the baby's milk. I'm like, oh, shit, let's hurry up and get out of here. And then as I'm done, I'm getting on my phone and I'm trying to request. And then I'm seeing that a lot of my rides are getting cancelled. Okay. Then I leave the mall. It gets like the opposite complex. They've got a spa there and things. So I like, okay, let me try and get that side. Right there, we go to the other side and I'm standing there and I'm requesting. Then this other guy accepts, ne? And then when he's close by, he calls me. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't come and take you. I'm like, why? I'm standing right here in front of Spa. He's like, look at the blue car next to you. The windscreen at the back, it's written Taxi Association. And that guy standing next to it is a Taxi Association guy. So I can't come and get you there. They're gonna give me trouble. So I'm like, okay, so where should I wait for you rather? Should I wait by the garage, by the BP garage? He's like, no, even they still don't allow us. We can't even pour petrol there because they harass us. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I leave that side. I go back to the mall. I get inside the mall and I went to the center management. And I get there. My baby's crying now. And I'm like, to that lady, I'm like, can I please borrow a spoon? Because now I'm having to take out the purities that I bought this boy and feed him right then and there because he was crying. And I'm like, this is very frustrating for me. I'm trying to get home to go feed my baby. I can't get transport because now these people keep declining my rights, telling me that they can't get into the mall to come and pick me up because the taxi association guys don't allow them in. And then the lady's like, let me give you the manager's number. Call him and tell him. Because you're not the first person to actually complain about this. There was an old lady that came here telling us that she's sick. She has a car, but right now she didn't come with her car. So right now she's feeling faint. She wanted to request a Bolt to take her home. She can't get it because they keep on declining. So I'm like, give me the numbers.
And the people declining are the Uber and Bolt drivers.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm like, give me the number of the guy. So she gives me the number and then I call the guy and then I'm telling him that, bruh, I'm here at the mall as a customer and I just did my grocery shopping and I'm done. Now I want to leave. I can't leave because I'm requesting a Bolt and I can't get it because these guys keep on declining because they're afraid of the taxi association guys. The guy says to me, you know what, sister, the problem between the Bolt drivers and the taxi drivers is actually their problem. They went to the police station alone and made an agreement without us as the mall, which we did not get involved in. And now again, it's a struggle for them to work together. We don't know what the agreement was between the two of them. I'm like, but you guys are the owners of the mall. So how do people take decisions? It's like you being an owner of a property and a tenant takes a decision on your property.
On your behalf. Yeah.
Regarding your property, they take a decision on your behalf regarding your property and you just let it slide. It's like, no, this is an ongoing problem. We're busy trying to sort it out, but it's not going to get sorted out today. I'm like, but I am your client. And if I stop coming here, you guys are going to lose foot count.
Yeah.
And once your foot count goes down, your tenants, the stores, are also going to lose business and they're going to move out.
Yeah.
Then what's going to happen to the mall? Are you going to remain with those taxi drivers alone? Are they going to give you what you need?
Who are also still dependent on the same traffic,
Exactly.
foot traffic that comes into the mall.
Exactly.
They need it themselves.
So the guy's like, you know what, my sister, let me call you back on Wednesday. Then I'll see if we can maybe sit down and discuss this. I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll just sort myself out. I drop the call and the lady says to me, you know what? Rather get out of the mall, go to extension 16 and stand there. There's a little passage that you can stand at and you can request from there. Then that's not a problem because it's a bit far away from the mall. I'm like, oh, okay, fine, I'll do it. I grab my kids, the groceries, and I walk with the pram. We're walking all the way. It's like a good longish distance from the mall. I get into extension 16. I'm not even at the gate. I moved past the gate and went to the second street
Sure.
and stood there and was requesting. After that Bolt guy accepts my trip and he gets there and he's helping me load in the groceries into the thingy, the car. These guys come with their car. The patrol guys, they come there and they're like, sorry my bra, lo muntu lona umuntu wethu angeke ukhona ukumthatha ubuye emall, so abantu ababuya emall mele ke bagibele itaxi. I'm like, say that to me. What did you just say? It's like, hey sisi asikhulumi nawe. They start talking to the Bolt driver. I was like, okay. Then that's when I pulled out my phone after they got into his car and they were like, it's his phone. Then the guy's like, no, I can't show you a client's private details. And why are you guys taking me and my car? Because this lady requested me from here. It's not from the mall. I only know that there's a problem if I take her from the mall. So why are you guys taking me from here? I don't know what they were busy saying to him there in the car, because that's when I was shooting the video and I was showing people that here they are. I even asked that one of the patrollers, I was like, what's actually the problem here? If I'm saying I don't want to take a taxi and I'm choosing to take a Bolt, I've left the mall, which is your territory. Why are you now coming here to come and say I can't get a Bolt even here? The guy started laughing, and the second guy, he laughed and went into the car in the back seat there. And I'm like, this does not make sense at all. So you're going to force me basically to grab a Bolt, to grab a taxi when I want a Bolt. It does not make any sense whatsoever to me. So they left with the guy, and as they were leaving, I had cut the video by then. The other guy's like, usiposte ku TikTok yezo. Ikhanda lakho liyafufuza. Ucabanga ukuthi uhlakaniphile wena. I was like, so when you think mawusho kanjalo uyangisabisa. He's like, angeke uyithole iBolt la ngiyakutshela. Uzomala ubusuku buze buse if ungenandoda ezokulanda. I was like, brother, mamelo gireng. Ke tlo ithola Bolt and ana ntho tlo yetsa. Ke tlo ipala ma Bolt ka je kuleng. So they left with the guy and I called the police. And then the police are like, okay, we'll come there. As I'm waiting for the police to show up, they come again with their patrol car. And they stand at a further distance. So when they saw the police car coming, they left. And then the police, when they got there to me, I was like, okay, so where are they now? I was like, they were parked right there. I don't know why did they leave when they saw you. Because if what they're doing is actually right and this is their territory, why didn't they stay and come and explain to you why are they harassing me?
Sure. So this is actually more interesting than I thought, Moipone. And this is the beauty. And thank you again for coming in the studio to come and talk to us about this, because this kind of detail we will never get on the video. There are a couple of interesting things that I'm picking up on. One is you actually walked away from the mall.
Yes.
You walked away from the mall. So you went where any other private citizen can be.
Yes.
So in this case, your sin was that because they saw you coming out of the mall, they knew that you were looking for an alternative. But you still respected them where they normally control things. You left. You could not get Bolt at Spa, not at the garage. You walked further down.
Yes.
This is really interesting. But okay, we'll pick up on a few things. One is that, like I said, majority of people that are commenting on your video and after I responded, also said that we have the same problems, because this is a problem that's happening almost everywhere. But I think this is an opportunity for us to say, why is this so prevalent and these guys will have so much control in a mall where you were? What do you think is the cause?
It's just they've been allowed to get away with it for so long. They've just been given that thing, like, this is our territory, and nobody has ever said no, it isn't.
Right.
Hence why they're even able to call us their people, as if they gave birth to us or they created us. And to tell you the honest truth, I don't have a problem with taxis. I do sometimes take taxis, but it is the behavior that goes on there, the treatment that people get as if we are not there paying with our own money.
Yeah.
Some years back, I got into a taxi in Hillbrow, and this guy was sitting next to me. I was sitting by the window, and he kept on coming close to me. And I was like, okay, what's wrong with this guy? Then as I'm about to get off, I'm trying to stand up. He stands up with me. It was at night. The guy stands up with me, and I'm like, can I pass, please? He looks at me in my eyes. I'm like, can I pass? The person sitting at the back, he's like, girl, you're getting robbed. And as I look down, this guy's got his hand in my bag. And I look at the driver and I'm like, how, driver? So you putting your friends here in this taxi to come and rob us? And the guy just looked forward and did not say anything. And I got off the taxi.
So I want you to know that so as transit ringers, the only reason we exist, that's a little one there taking control, is to really look at these kind of cases. Because I'll tell you, the drivers and patrollers are merely employees. The owner of that taxi, chances are that the owner of that taxi is at home.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, chances are that the owner of that vehicle does not even know that the driver is doing that. Similarly, these patrollers, they are employed. These are employees of the association. Most of the associations have long declared that that's not what we want to do. In fact, both these organizations, big organizations, I'm talking the National Taxi Alliance and the Santago, which are the biggest two federations, if you like, they always encourage people on negotiated settlements. So what they would do, they would say, if it's a mall, there are 4 or 5 entrances in the mall.
Yes.
Entrance number 2 is the only entrance designated for pickup for Uber or e-hailing, because the mall will always understand that there are different types of people that are coming into the mall. No mall only wants to have the same LSM of people. They want a mix.
Yes.
So there will always be people who are driving with their own vehicles. There are people who will use e-hailing. There are people who will walk. There are people who will come using the taxis.
Yes.
It's a mix that makes the business of a mall operate. So any other time when you see people trying to create this mall a taxi mall, such malls often fail and don't make money, as you correctly said it. So I am just happy that you spoke up. You stood up against this monstrous and barbaric behavior. It is really wrong. And I must apologize to say, as you know, I immediately, when I got linked or tagged, I immediately spoke to the regional bodies that are responsible for that area. And that area is operated by Santaco and the NTA. That's why there are two associations there. And both of these organizations were really not aware that that incident happened, but they are aware that it happens. But that's why, as you correctly put it, that's why these people will not take this guy to the rank or to the office, because it's not an instruction of the association for them to behave like us. So, what do you think needs to be done with the mall management, the shopping center management? Because I think, as you put it, Urwena, this is your property. I still want to come to your mall, but I want to come to your mall if I know that you can stand up for me, because I'm a different type of a customer. And I want to be catered for as what's the message you want to send to the send it here on that camera and speak to the mall manager, because you've spoken to them. Tell them what you want to see happening.
Well, what I want to see happening at that mall is for you guys to take charge of your mall and make sure that your customers feel safe there and they feel like they can be able to take whatever form of transport that they want to take from that particular mall. We are not all the same living in Vosloorus. Some of us drive, some of us walk, some of us take taxis. The customer a Bolt customer is not the same customer as a taxi customer. So you need to gather your things together with your tenant, which is the taxi association or whatever, and make sure that they know that. Because there's instances where people come up and where people say, even on the comments, that I was picking up my daughter and I was not allowed to pick her up simply because it was there at that Chris Honey Mall. Taxi driver stopped me and said she must get off and take a taxi. I'll meet her at home. What are you guys saying about that? Are you not receiving these complaints, or do you simply just not care about us as your customers? What are you doing for us as the customers who come there to bring business to your mall? When is this going to actually be sorted out and you can actually tell your taxi drivers that, listen guys, taxi customers will come to the rank. Those who want to take other forms of transport have the means and the ability and the availability to do so here, and you cannot harass, nor can you claim them.
Thank you. I think that message is loud and clear. It is important because the National Commissioner of Police created a special team, because this thing was happening everywhere. People are being harassed. People are being threatened with violence. But the beautiful thing now is, if we, and this is maybe the message I must send to everybody, that every time when this happens, please get the registration number. Please get the registration number. The Bolt driver who was victimized, threatened, whatever that might have happened, please get us the registration number. because we know now we know that the owners of the business, who are the owners of these taxis, all they are decent men and women who just want to make a living for their children. They understand that we live in a country that it's a democratic country. They understand that. They understand that they will never stop somebody from jumping into whatever mode of public transport they need. So what you did, you've just brought this issue up because it has been happening, but it has been happening in silence in some cases. So we're now going to make it a national issue so that everybody else who has this kind of problem should know that you can actually speak up and be helped. I must tell you, and I must thank the EMPD, because immediately when it happened, I called the spokesperson of the Metro Police in Ekurhuleni, and then they immediately dispatched vehicles. But because the police station would be closer, they immediately got in contact with the police. And by the time when they got in contact, it was already there. One, you were not at the mall. Two, I think the police already were aware of your issue because you had already called before that. But I'm thankful that both organizations reacted. Both of them called back and apologized. Both of them said, if we knew who is this person, we would have done something. But they have not stopped. They're still trying to investigate. And maybe the driver, the ball driver, maybe might have some little information. What we're going to ask you to do is to go on your history.
Yes.
So that we can get in touch with this guy, the driver. Okay. Just so that we can get him to give us a little more detail, because part of what we do here, we don't want to penalize people. We want to educate them. Only when you've educated somebody, it's easier for you to come back to them and say that this is nonsense. You can't do it again because we told you.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So we want to do it the right way. We will go and speak to the association. We will go at the rank there to go and speak to these guys. But you did something really, really big. And let me tell you that it reached everybody. People are speaking Cape Town. People are speaking KZN. They're speaking everywhere about the same issue because there's a generation that stands up for your right. You stood up for your right because this right, there are people who died for this right. Right? It's not a sponsorship. We didn't get it from Donald Trump as a grant. People died for it. So this freedom is ours. We deserve it. It's ours. You want to pick him up? You want to pick him up? There's our little president there. Our little president. This is the guy who, at 6 months, he already became a victim of the patroller of the taxi industry. So this is the youngest victim in history. I hope that there's no other. A 6-month baby was victimized by Bontati. I can almost bet that yeah, I can almost bet that they have that, but they were able to victimize this little beautiful thing.
And the question that I was even asking myself and other people that I was talking to about this thing, I was like, let me ask, bana ba bona le basadi ba bona, do they not take Ubers or Bolts? If not, can anybody never say that they've never seen a taxi into aligning hore lo lata ntho ngwana kapa bana kapa mosadi wa ntho wa taxi owner because she's stuck somewhere koloi hana o sebetsa?
Yeah.
Why is that being done? Also, right there when it's their wives, when it's their children. for them to have comfortability in whatever transportation that they're taking. They must be comfortable there. But when it's us, we must be for maslalisane.
Yeah. And the issue always is, I've said this before, that the taxi guys, it is okay for you to try and fight for a customer. But this is how you fight for a customer. You improve your service. You improve your treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You improve the vehicle itself. You make it safe. You make it clean. You yourself, you clean up yourself. You respect the customer, because attraction of the customer is mainly not because of any other thing, just that's why there's something called customer experience,
Yes.
customer care. The reason why people are moving away is because you are treating them badly. And when you're treating them badly, you still want to force them back into. Let me tell you what a typical South African black graduate success is measured by quickly moving yourself away from the taxis. Graduate, the first thing that they want to do is to move away from a taxi, because that's the first measure that you've made it in life.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the contrary, in big economies, in the developed countries, public transport is a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
They don't rush to get in their own vehicle, but here in South Africa, we're rushing to get a vehicle to be saved from the arrogance and bad treatment of the drivers, because they have taken this posture for the longest time.
Yep. They really have.
And I think it's time that they realize that they are not going to save the industry by force, by guns. The industry is going to be saved by a better treatment of the people, because your only asset is the customer.
Yes.
And if you don't treat that customer right, that customer will do anything and everything to move away from you. And there's no amount of guns you will take out to push people if they don't want to be with you. You will victimize them. You will take them out of vehicles. You will do whatever you want to do. But a decision not to be in a taxi again, they will pray to God that God give me the strength and money to get my own car, because I want to get out of this. So, Moipone, as we conclude, I want you, what do you want to say to somebody who has experienced the same thing and decided to keep quiet?
I would say, I know it's traumatizing. Yeah. It for the longest time it stayed in my mind, and it was a very traumatic experience, because at some point during the whole ordeal, my daughter was like, Mama batluele batla re lematsa, and that sticked in my head, and it's a sore point. So even somebody who has experienced this, I know it's traumatic, but you know what? Just tell yourself that you're not gonna allow this to be what defines you. You're not gonna allow these people to continue getting away with such things, because at the end of the day, they are not the only people that exist. We are people too. We also have rights.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think that brings us to almost the end of this, because I wanted people to understand that the taxi industry is getting better. Let me tell you, if you go to Carltonville is an association that has taken a decision to prioritize customers. Carltonville, when you are a customer and you are treated badly, he's very excited now. He's seeing the country is coming back. He's seeing the country is coming back. Almost lost the country. But in Carltonville, the association says that if we find or get a complaint about you as a driver, you are going to be, the association itself will charge you. If your vehicle is dirty, the association itself will charge you money. In some cases, if your car is not good for, you will not even ulaiche that on that specific route. I am trying to say to you, the taxi industry itself is now taking the initiative of bettering customer care. But the message is not out there yet. So first, Loras, don't continue on that old method of doing things. It's old. It's outdated. Improve your service and see people coming back. It will help you. To the mall manager, it is time that you renegotiate any deal that was made, because any deal that excludes a category of your shoppers out because they can't be serviced, chances are that you're going to lose foot count or foot traffic there. So it is just a wise thing to do. We will be in touch with you. We know that you will be afraid because we are saying this live, that we're going to be in touch with you. We will try and reach out because the associations, but when we come, we'll make sure that we bring the police, we bring the two associations that are operating there, or at least the regional structures, just to make sure that at least there's some kind of an understanding. But to the people who are subjected to this behavior around Chris Hani Mall, is it Chris Hani Mall?
It's Chris Hani Mall.
Do not sit down and be quiet. Report it. Please get us the registration numbers of these vehicles. Where you can, as long as you're not compromised, just get us even the pictures of these guys. We would want to have them, because their employers are not agreeing with that kind of behavior. So from us, as transit ringers, from me, Isaac Lesole, I want to thank you, Moipone, and the big brother, the president, who visited us today, to say just thank you for waking up so early just to come and say your story in detail. We appreciate you so much. Yeah?
Thank you for having us. I really appreciate the platform to actually express myself and how this whole thing has made me feel. And I hope that this can have an impact on other people as well, to report this kind of behavior and not let it get away.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. And the police officers who really helped her.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Please, thank you. Continue to do that. But now that mall needs to be flagged. It needs to be flagged because a lot of these are happening. But let's monitor it. From me to you, peace out.
Yo, en het rijdt.